Hello and welcome to my channel, and if you have already been to my channel, then welcome back. My name is Galina and I'm an expert in public relations and mass communications, and in this video I'm going to talk about shaping yourself, and in particular about the fact that you should shape yourself, but only when it means growth. Very often, shaping yourself and adjusting to certain environment, it's not really within your benefit because it can erase your authenticity and your true identity, your true self. Okay, so you need to be mindful in which ways and in which particular situations you should and you shouldn't shape yourself, because we always grow throughout our life, and shaping ourselves and the way that we develop is very often connected to the environment and to the difficulties that we have been through and to the people and the other sources that have impacted us. And that can be a beautiful thing because you have faced certain choices, you have done mistakes, you have chosen a direction that is right for you, or sometimes you have chosen the wrong direction and then you have redirected, and all of this has shaped you in certain ways, because you're for sure not the same person that you were 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? Because if you are, then that is an indication of lack of growth. So the chances are, especially if you're watching a channel like mine that is about development, the chances are that you are probably not the same person and you were shaping yourself. However, when is it okay to shape yourself and when you should not shape yourself and you should be true to your core identity? You should stick to your actual values, to your actual mindset, because there are parts of your core, of who you are internally, of your authentic self, that should be untouchable and unbreakable. They're in the core of your identity. Okay, so how you should shape yourself and where you should stay exactly the same that you are. Okay, this is a very important question, because in my channel I'm talking about personal image and personal branding, and also the way that PR strategies are used in order to communicate with people and to get ahead in your career and business. So a lot of people can wrongly understand that they just should shape themselves in a way that it works in their best interest, but not in the correct way. Okay, so I would say that when it is about your values and when it is about your core identity, you should not shape yourself. That is something that should stay the same, because nobody can mess with your values and nobody can mess with who you are internally in your core. That's something that nobody should mess with. And there are a lot of people with bad intentions that sometimes they will try to convince you that you're somehow wrong. For example, I think of myself as a kind person and I like to be kind. It is not something that I consider wrong, but there are a lot of people who have either shown me or even told me, like with words, that because I'm kind, I'm probably stupid, or because I'm kind, I'm probably allowing people to walk all over me. And that is not true. And I think that I'm strong because nothing should be able to change my kindness. Okay, I like to be kind and respectful to people. This is a part of my core identity. And anytime, because throughout the years there are several situations that I remember that I acted out of character, every time after that, I was really thinking about what made me act this way, why did I act this way, and how should I correct it and not let it happen again. So this is not going to become my norm or a part of my core identity. So this is something that I know I need to watch out for, because a lot of people are not with good intentions and they're gonna try to change certain core things about you that are not even wrong. For example, if your core identity is kindness, then a lot of people can uh, try to, let's say, provoke you in certain ways, to try to get you to act unkind. Or a lot of people will tell you you're wrong to be kind because you're just stupid and you're just acting in ways that are weak or something like this. And you must know that this is not true. This is somebody's attempts to change who you are in your core, right? And for example, your value system, you have certain values. And if somebody pushes to change those values, then even if you act a little outside of this value system, if you try to shape that, then you would feel very wrong. You wouldn't feel good in your skin. And this is because you compromised with your actual values when you are trying to shape yourself. And this is not the way to shape yourself, and this is not the way to create your personal image. Now, what is it that you should shape? What is it that you need to work on in order to shape yourself? Well, there are certain things that show a person of a value, that show a person with confidence, and that show a person with internal self-worth. And those things are noticed right away, and they're very often they're showing on the surface. They're internal, but they're also showing on the surface. Okay, so those are things that you can work on if you're missing them. Okay, because for example, very often you are evaluated, actually not very often, maybe most of the times, if not all of the times, you are evaluated on your appearance. The first thing that you appear somewhere, people make certain opinions about you based on your appearance. So this is something that you should work on, but not in a way like you want to be Miss or Mrs. something and you want to be a certain beauty standard and you want to match certain looks that the society considers the best looks for a man or for a woman, right? That's not what I mean, but you should look the best possible way for your body and for your face. There are certain things that when you do, they show self-care, they show that you're intentional, they show that you have discipline, they show that you have paid attention in the way that you look and the way that you present yourself, and that brings others to respect you, maybe on a little higher level, right? Because very often a lot of people think that appearance doesn't matter at all, but they don't look serious because they're sloppy, they don't think that they have put effort into themselves, and they're very often questioned. They're very often questioned if they are respecting the environment that they're in, if they're respecting the event, if they're respecting the company that they work for, and ultimately if they're disciplined enough in order to do the job. So people notice if you wear clothes that are complementary for your body because there are different body types. People notice if you know what you're doing when it comes to your looks. And again, even if you're not with the modelly measurements, when you dress up with intention, when you maintain your wardrobe, especially on a daily basis, you select the pieces that you wear, then people look at you and they say, she knows what she's doing.
Stay back. She knows what she's doing.
Navy blazer, silver hoop earrings, platform wedge. And a red patent leather clutch.
Genius.
Right? So this is one thing that you can maintain, and something else that you can maintain that you need to pay attention to, that you can shape, that is within your power to shape and change like accordingly. Another thing like this is the way that you speak, the way that you behave, your gestures, and your full presence. Because there are certain things that there is common things that are the same for everybody, like regardless of who exudes them, regardless of who shows them, they mean the same thing. So if you are unkempt, if you don't take care of yourself, if you're not intentional with your style and with matching the environment on a style level, on a dress code level, then that means certain thing. That means that you pretty much don't respect yourself. That can mean that you don't respect this environment, and people are going to notice those things. And often, very often, people will notice the way you handshake, the way your face stands, your facial expressions, your body language, the way your posture is. They will notice those things, and all of those things are within your control. So they are not about your core self, your core internal identity. They're not about your values. Actually, very often the external matches the internal values. So when you have internal value for self-respect, then that is going to actually show on your looks. And this is different than just your looks. So it's pretty much everything. It's your whole energy, the way you possess yourself, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you communicate with people, your voice, the tonality of your voice. When you express certain feeling, do you sound authentic and real, or are you just imitating it? Even that is very, very obvious. So all of those things are common for everybody. There are certain things that they make you the same as everybody else within that certain environment, but that's actually a good thing because they show your standard. They pretty much show that the standard that you possess matches the standard of the environment. Okay, basically, and if you want to go in a different environment, then you need to start with yourself, and you need to start with raising your standards, the standard for yourself, okay? Anytime that you raise your standard, you need to start from yourself. And then there is another thing that you can shape, and it is the unique parts of you. But it is the unique parts of you that are not only the core identity, who you are, and your values, and that needs to be something like firm, something that's unbreakable, like a stone, because if you break your values, then people can break you very easily and you can be compromised, right? And that's not good for you. And especially psychologically, that's not good for you because you wouldn't feel good with yourself. But there is something else that is about shaping yourself, and that is your creativity and your self-expression, because there are things that match the standard of the environment, let's say, and that when it comes to those things, they're the same for everybody else, but there are some things that are uniquely about you, because your creativity is an expression of you, okay? You create from the depths of your soul. So that is something that is very specific, that you show who you are. So you need to think about those things that are the same for everybody else, but you also should think about those things that differentiate you from everybody else, that make you unique, that show your own self-expression and creativity. And that is also something that you need to shape, because many years ago I wasn't actually brave enough to express myself in the ways that I wanted. For example, I was always writing throughout my life. Writing was always a part of my life, but until a certain point of my life, I was very reluctant and very scared to share what I'm writing. And it wasn't about I'm worried if I'm good enough. It was about this is pieces of me. It's parts of my soul that feel very personal, and I'm scared to put them out there in the world. So it is a little deeper thing, that self-expression. It's a little deeper, it goes a little deeper than I'm scared if I'm good enough. And very often that's also a thing, but for me it was something very personal and something very deep that I had to overcome before I started expressing myself in a ways that I haven't before. And even the videos that I do on this channel, I'm still opening myself up for a lot of criticism, and a lot of people can perceive that negatively, okay? So I believe that PR and the personal image that you have shapes throughout your life. It is something that happens on a daily basis. So I believe that it is connected to habits, and truly good image is connected to self-development, okay? So this is what I believe, and this is what I have experienced, and this is what I have seen within my practice. Even those videos that I'm doing right now, I'm doing them in a way that they can invoke a lot of criticism, right? So this takes bravery. So this is the third component that you can shape throughout your life and throughout your experience in ways that will benefit you and that will ultimately benefit the world, okay? So the things that are the same for everybody, that you make stand about yourself and about your standards, they are actually the baseline that you step on in order to express yourself, to go to the next level, that is self-expression. So those things, you need to learn them and you need to know them so that they can facilitate your self-expression. Okay, so this is for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave a link below to my website so that you can see who I am and what I'm doing. Also, you can like and share this video, you can leave a comment, and you can subscribe for my channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.